Well, today we are going to take some very simple craft materials and we are going to turn them into this adorable little bench. It can be placed on the front porch of the dollhouse or pretty much anywhere you've got a little space you want to fill. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. Alright, I walked to the dollar store the other day and I bought myself a new package of craft sticks. Now, I believe the craft sticks from the dollar store are slightly smaller than the ones from like Michael's, but I'm not positive. I'll try to remember to check the size on these. But you get 100 of them for like $1.25. So I am going to pull out 5 and probably 2 more. That's only half of the craft sticks, by the way. So we are going to figure out how big I need to make this. I'm going to cut a straight end using my easy cutter. Do I have a pencil? I'm going to need 2 pieces that size. So I'm actually making this up as I go, which I don't really like doing that for you guys for the videos, but sometimes it happens. I'm running incredibly late this week getting a video ready because it was ridiculously hot last week here. And I just did not get much done. In fact, the last 2 weeks it has been just horribly hot. All right, so let's get these 3 glued together, and I'm just using some tacky glue. Hopefully I'm staying under camera. I've got you guys backed up so you can see my whole work tile today. I'm hoping that will help. I can tell those are not straight, and I stuck my finger in that one. Awesome. It's going to be one of those days. All right. Let's get... Ah, there's a Lego corner already made. Except it's not long enough. Now, off camera, I will make sure this is straight. You will want to make sure that they are squared up so that they are the correct size. I'm going to do I was almost tempted to not put a strip onto this one until ahead of time, but I think I want it glued together so that I can use it as a unit. This is the seat, in case you haven't figured out, and this is the back of our bench. And this is just going to be a simple little bench to sit on our porch or anywhere else you want to put it in your dollhouse, in or around. So I am going to place these, and then I'm going to let this glue dry. And when this is dry, we will come back and we will work on the next step. So I'll be right back. All right, we are going to form the legs of our bench. So what I did was I took 2 craft sticks and I measured mine, and mine are, let me get an exact measurement here, they're 4.5 inches. So I cut 2 of them in half at 2.25 inches each. And then I marked up from the cut edge 1.5 inches. And I've got 2 more craft sticks. And make sure that you've got everything square. I'm going to glue these on together on camera, and then I'm going to very carefully off camera make sure everything is square, meaning my legs are all the same length so that our bench doesn't rock weirdly when we get done. So I'm going to drop a glue just under that mark that's 1.5 inches up from the basically the base. I'm taking another craft stick and I'm going to put it like this. And you want to make sure that it's right at the end and that these are exactly square. And like I said, off camera, I'm going to make sure this is all squared up. But on camera, I just want to show you basically what I'm doing. And then I can get my head right over this off camera and I can do some squaring up. But those marks should help you to get everything in the right spot. We want to make sure that these are all the way to the end. Now, obviously, I am painting my bench, so I'm not worried about where the glue goes, because that's why I'm being sloppy with the glue. If I was going to stain this, I would stain it first and then glue it together, because stain and glue are not friends. So I am going to square this up, make sure everything is the right dimension, and then I'm going to let this glue set up, and when this is set up and dried, I'll come back and we'll go to the next step. All right, this glue has dried, and I've double checked that these are identical, and they need to be identical for this to work. I'm going to take some glue, and on the top of this horizontal piece, we are going to run a bead of glue. And then I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to take this, and the side with the slats, with the brace pieces, is going to go there. And now, I'm going to keep that straight. And that's going to need to be at a right angle. I'm going to put that square. And that glue is going to need to dry. And what I'm going to do is let that glue set up, and then I'm going to run another bead of glue in that where the two meet to reinforce it. And when that glue is dry, I'll come back and we will put on the second side. I'll probably actually let this sit probably overnight before I come back and we do the other side. So I'll be back when this is dry. All right, here's where we are now, and I did run an extra bead of glue along that seam just to make sure everything was going to stay where I wanted it. And now it's really solid. So now we need to glue this side together. And this is going to take a little extra bracing, and I'm going to have to fiddle with it probably off camera because I want to make sure that I have this really straight. If it's not straight now, it's going to be messed up forever. So I am going to take a bead of glue and run it along the top of that craft stick, and I apologize. My hands are shaking. I decided to hop over here before I ate breakfast and get started so that I can get this video filmed for you today. That way maybe I'll have a video up on time over the weekend. All right, now I'm going to lay this here. I'm going to, and I've got just a couple of bottles, like I have a bottle of Mod Podge here, and because this is going to need to be braced from both sides, and then I actually just brought my big glue bottle so that I can make sure that, yep, that's all. Okay, as far as I can tell from this angle, everything's lined up. I'm going to get down where I can see it straight on, and I'll take some photographs so that I can show you on the blog post how it's all lined up. Once again, this glue needs to set up completely, and once it's set up completely, I'm going to run that extra bead of glue on that where it's joined together, and then I'll come back when that's dry and we'll go to the next step. All right, that glue has dried, so this is our bench so far. Now we're going to add our back, and what I'm going to do for the back, I'm going to line it up, and I've got my clamps. Let's see, there's 2 clamps. And these are just from, I had Mr. Doll sitting here, he was checking out the bench to make sure it was going to fit. And I'm going to line this up so that these are lined up with the curves on the back. So I am going to put some glue. It's okay if you smear your glue around on the back, that's fine. there we go. Now it is. Be careful because once you clamp it, the wood has a tendency to slide around. And of course it's sliding around because I'm trying to keep it under camera for you guys instead of holding it really securely up close to where I'm at so that I can actually see what I'm doing. So I'll probably have to adjust that off camera, but you get the idea. I'm going to double check that's all square, and I'm going to let this glue dry, and when this glue's dry, we'll come back and add some armrests. All right, so I want to put the armrests on, and I could just glue this to the back, and it would probably be okay, but not very stable. And by the way, these armrests are just the ends of one of these craft sticks. It's cut 1.25 inches long. I'll have all the dimensions in the blog post. I decided to take the easiest route for doing this. And by that I mean I'm just going to put some glue on this craft stick here all the way down. And I'm going to use an additional craft stick. What that will do is it will give me a little ridge when this is dry. I'll have a little ridge that will be even with this, and it will allow me to glue my armrest down. So I'm going to clamp this, making sure that I'm lined up with the craft stick behind, and this one slid just a little. So you're going to have to double check, make sure that you are really lined up, and I'm going to off camera double check it. And I'm going to add another clamp right there. Right, I'm going to put 2 on. And I'm going to let this glue dry. I'm going to clean this glue up so I don't have a bump. When that's dry, I'll come back and we'll add an armrest. All right, the glue holding that extra strip has dried enough that I'm not concerned that it will fall off. So now it's going to be a matter of putting some glue. For this, I am going to put my glue on my tray, and I use a toothpick because this is a really narrow space. And this is not going to be a super secure hold, but this will be a lot more secure than it would have been had we not added that extra piece of wood. Excuse me. For whatever reason, my sinuses are not liking something in the air right now. All right. Now these pieces, I don't remember if I said earlier or not, they're just the ends of a couple of one of the craft sticks, and they're cut 1 1/4 inches long. And I'm just going to balance them on that strip we added and our upright front posts. And I'm going to let this dry. Once this is dry enough, I will probably go back and add just a little bit more glue to the underside of each of these, just to give it a little more stability. When this is dry, I'll come back and we will do some painting and see if we want to decorate this at all. So I'll be right back. All right, our little bench is ready to paint. And I have been all over the place trying to figure out what color I wanted to paint. I decided to just go boring white. And this is some of the white paint that Plaid sent to me a while back. Let me know, what do you guys think I should have done? Was the white the right choice? Should I have gone with a color, maybe a blue? I was debating between this and a really dark blue. But I'm just going to, I won't bore you by making you watch the whole thing. I'm just going to put a coat of white paint on the whole bench. And then when this is dry, I'll come back and we will put on a clear coat. And then our bench will be ready to put on the front porch of the dollhouse or anywhere else that you'd like to put yours. So I will be right back when this paint is dry. All right, I ended up putting 2 coats of white paint on, and now I'm just going to apply a nice thin even coat of satin Mod Podge, and when that is dry, we'll go put this on the front porch of the dollhouse and see how it looks and see how Mr. Doll fits on it. So I'll be right back when this is dry. Well, there's our little bench on the front porch. It fits perfectly under the window. I didn't even measure for that. I love how it looks. Let's put Mr. Doll on there. He can have a nice sit. He sits very comfortably. The little kid, I guess it's grandpa and grandson sitting there on the bench having a conversation. I love this. It gives so many staging possibilities for your front porch, your entry to your dollhouse, wherever you have a little space that you want to put a bench. Simple, inexpensive materials and really simple construction. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Be sure and check the blog post for photos, and I'll put the dimensions of everything I cut over there so you can have a quick and easy reference. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, leave me a comment. What kinds of things would you like to see in future videos? If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, I encourage you, hit that subscription button and the notification bell so you know when I put out a new video. And I thank you very, very much for watching today. I will talk to you next time. Bye.